So this is the Ogio 9800 series hauler bag. I figured I'd give you guys a little bit of an introduction to this bag because from some of the people that I know in the RC community, they really like using this particular bag for traveling, and I figured I'd give it a try for this year's Vintage Off-Road Nationals, and in the future probably for just going racing whenever I can actually get back to going racing on a regular basis. There are RC manufacturers that offer travel bags and even like some travel boxes, that they can roll on wheels. Some of those are okay because they're essentially just rebranded versions of the Ogio 9800. Others are not so great because they're basically just cheap cardboard boxes with really crappy packaging. So far, just to make a long story short, I've been packing this up with all the stuff that I have to get ready for Vonats this year, and I'm fairly impressed with this bag. In the past, I had used that big-ass, basically Tupperware box. I got it from Target for about $15, so it's incredibly economic, and it fits a ton of stuff, but it's a big, boxy sort of structure. And I used to put that in the back seat of my car, and it took up a lot of space. And if, it made it a little bit hard to travel with others and their equipment. So I figured if I can take what I used to put in there and put it in here, this is a bit more flexible. So, maybe this would be better for traveling. One of the challenges that I'm going to have this year at Vonats is that I'm running 5 classes, and I'm running a different manufacturer's car for each of those 5 classes. So that means I have to carry spare parts from 5 different manufacturers. So just to give you a sense of how that's going to work, for the classic class, I'm running my Tamiya Dirt Thrasher. I won that class with this car 2 years ago, so I want to bring it back to kind of defend its title. So with this, because this is all Tamiya ABS plastic, I have a bunch of spare parts that I would like to bring with me, but I have to figure out what kind of container to put them in before I package them all up in here in this bag. Right now, all those spares are kind of in here. I have spare chassis, spare suspension arms, spare steering knuckles, some spare gears, all kinds of stuff. This is probably overkill, but I have to figure out how much of this I could fit in there. And for the 4-wheel drive buggy class, I'm running my Schumacher Cat 2000. And for the new classic 4-wheel drive buggy class, I'm going to run my Yokomo 93 Works. For stadium truck, I run my RC10 GTE. This is an electric conversion for their nitro truck, so it's basically a mid-motor truck. And for 2-wheel drive buggy, I'm running my Kyosho Rampage Pro E, which is an electric conversion of their nitro buggy from 1993. So this is basically a mid-motor buggy. So that's a Kyosho, a Schumacher, a Team Associated, a Yokomo, and a Tamiya. 5 different manufacturers, and I got to carry spare parts for all of them. So far, in this bag, I have fit a whole bunch of stuff, but not quite everything. So in here, I have my transmitter bag with my stick radio. I have 3 of these Plano tackle boxes. I love these boxes. These are great. 2 of them are for my Schumacher parts. One of them has some of my Yokomo parts, or at least the ones that are relevant to the 93 Works. Then I have 2 smaller, I think these are Plano boxes for more Yokomo parts, belts and things. And then in here, Kyosho makes their own parts bins. I actually have another set of those over here, just to give you a sense of what they look like. It's one of these guys. Okay, it actually fits quite a lot of stuff. It's a pretty nice parts bin, so I have 2 of those that are full of Pro X parts for the suspension and the drivetrain and so forth, so that's all of that. And then I have my charger, my power supply, and then, maybe I can fit a few things in here, and then the transmitter bag goes in here like this. So that's, most of my support equipment for 3 manufacturers worth of spare parts, okay? And then I have, I'm going to try to fit all of my tires in here. There is a little divider that they give you with this bag that basically has Velcro straps that strap into, this side here. There's a little Velcro line and another Velcro line here. So I want to use that to separate the tires from the rest of the stuff. Chances are, because I usually like to bring 2 sets of tires for each car, I might just mount 1 set of tires on all of the cars and then have my spare tires fitting in here. Again, 5 chassis, one of which is a truck which has bigger tires. So I got to try to make that all fit in this space. That means that my Team Associated spare parts and my Tamiya spare parts may have to fit somewhere else. So I do have my Plano 777 toolbox that I've been using for some time. This has 2 more of those Plano tackle boxes, and I have 2 in there that have a lot of generic stuff in them, plus a whole bunch of Team Associated parts and things that I used to use when I used to run Team Associated stuff a lot. So I've been cleaning that out and trying to replace that with spares for the RC10 GTE. And then for the Tamiya, I gotta figure out another box or something to put that stuff in. I don't want to use too many different boxes and bags because I'll be traveling with my wife and my son, and we have to have enough room in the car for everybody's needs. So between this bag and that toolbox and whatever box I can fit all 5 cars in, that's basically the limit of volume that I'll be using in the car that we're going to be traveling in. So I got to make everything fit. So this part of the bag, as large as it is, and it's really quite good if you want to go racing on a regular basis for maybe 3 cars, or if you don't have a whole lot of different manufacturers that you're carrying spare parts for. This should be more than enough. It's actually quite large. I like it. On the other side, on this side, you do get more compartments. You get this big sort of sleeve on the inside of the top component here. You get another pocket in here with a zipper opening that I'm going to put in all of my different manuals for my different chassis. As a reference, you get another pocket in here. Okay, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to put in there. Maybe spare electronics like spare servos and speed controls and stuff. And then on this side, you have another pocket. And this one's also rather large. So I have all of my charger leads that will go in here. And then when it all closes up, you have these 2 nice, beefy little buckles that you can use to buckle this down. You have 2 sort of handles here that you can use to lift the bag up when it's all closed. You have a handle here. You have an extension handle here. And the whole bottom of this bag is a plastic sled. So you can scrape it along the ground. It's not going to kill the bag. Wheels are back there. It's actually quite nice and quite sturdy. So then, if we go back here, after everything's packed in, I have my Huddy pit board that should just go right in the top like this. It fits nice and perfect. This is the pit board for the 1/10 scale cars, and it really fits just perfectly. The only other thing is, well, I have a whole list of stuff I got to bring. One of which is, of course, batteries. You can't race without batteries. So I'm going to try to find a way to put batteries in here somewhere. Maybe in there, maybe somewhere in here. I have to have enough batteries for everything. So that's going to be a fun one to figure out. Maybe I'll put them up here if I mount all of the tires, the primary tires, on the cars. And then maybe the spare tires won't take up too much space. I can cram some batteries in there. So I still have some figuring out to do. So overall, I like this. I actually got it at a something of a discount. It cost me a little bit under $200 for this bag. Normally, I think it costs somewhere around $250 to $300, depending on where you get it from. We'll see if it's worth it. It's probably a little bit less volume than that big box right there. But it's a lot easier to carry around because you can wheel it around. This thing, I had to actually pick it up and haul it, which was kind of a pain. So I think for most people, if you want to go racing with this, it should be perfectly fine. Like, in the future, if I ever get to go racing regularly again, I'm into all of my Kyosho stuff. So I might have like 3 Kyosho chassis and a couple of boxes worth of spare parts. And that's pretty much all I would bring for these cars. That can fit way easily in this bag with my charger and everything. And I can even probably put the cars in there, no problem. So, but if you're traveling with 5 cars, then, maybe it's a little bit more challenging. Yeah, so that's basically it for this bag, for what it's worth. And thanks for watching.